Yo, 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 we are here. What is going on? Shout out to everyone who's here tonight. Sorry to keep y'all waiting, but we're here. Better late than never, better late than never. Y'all do me a personal favor. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button when you're coming into the room. Hit the thumbs up button to support the channel. And if you're new to the channel, smash the subscribe button. It motivates me to keep this thing going. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. I just looked at my analytics the other day, and it says that like 90% of the people who are watching my videos are not subscribed. So I don't know, maybe it's unsubscribing folks, but just take a look, make sure that you're subscribed. If you're enjoying the videos, it really does motivate me to keep this thing going. So y'all be sure to subscribe. I really do appreciate you all. And hit the thumbs up button to motivate this thing, to motivate me, and to support the channel. With that being said, let's get into today's conversation. You see the thumbnail, you see the title, you understand what we're talking about. It has just been released. This is breaking news that Donald Trump was found liable, not guilty, but liable for fraud in New York. It's a civil case. Remember, there's the difference between civil and criminal, right? So he's not guilty. Guilty is found in criminal court. He was found liable. Now, that's a civil court. From my understanding, he's facing the liquidation of his companies, liquidation of his assets, as well as a $250 million fine. I'm going to read up some articles having to do this, but before we get into the articles, before we get into our videos, I just want to make it clear that Trump is sweating bullets right now. Trump is sweating bullets. This campaign in 2024, and I just got some water, some lemon juice. You know, I like to stay hydrated. It's just water and lemon juice. Delicious. Delicious. But listen, this campaign is do or die for Trump. This campaign is do or die. The DoJ, the Department of Justice, wants Trump's head. They want Trump locked up. They want him in prison. This fraud case, that's just step one. That's a step in that direction. But the people in power do not like Trump. They do not like Trump. They never did. Okay? January 6th was a big L for Trump. A big L for Trump. Because that motivated all and united all of his enemies and pushed away many of his supporters. It was an embarrassment for the United States. January 6th was a big L. It was an embarrassment. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Now, if you've seen my videos, you know that a lot of times when I talk about January 6th, I like to emphasize the reason that those protesters went up there was because they believed that the elections were rigged. There is a legitimate case that people could make to believe, for the reason that they believed that the elections were rigged. All right. The Democrats have in the past rigged elections. The Democrats have in the past argued in federal court and admitted that we reserve the right to rig elections as far as it goes, at least in the Democratic primary in the Democratic primaries. So and we've already seen what the Democrats have done to Bernie Sanders in 2016 and 2020. So when Donald Trump, the president, the sitting president Donald Trump, tells his supporters that this election was rigged in the middle of 2020, a global pandemic where businesses have been shut down, tyranny has reigned in the states, people have been mandated to lose their jobs, mandated to take medical procedures, mandated to wear masks over their face. It's not far-fetched for people at that time to believe that the Democrats may have rigged the elections, the general elections against Donald Trump. So the people who rioted on January 6th believed they were doing the right thing. Here's the problem. Regardless of what they believed at the time, this is the outcome of their actions. This is the outcome of their actions. I'm going to play a clip, and I'm going to play it with the sound off. I'm going to play it with the sound off. And just look at the visuals. Just look at the visuals. Check this out. Just look at the visuals. You see fires. You see a noose hanging outside. Who is going to bring a noose to the state capitol in DC? Do you see this noose? Think about the visuals here. You see thousands of people wearing masks. Think about the visuals. Thousands of people, and they're supporting Trump. They're bringing nooses. They're saying, hang her. Hang Nancy Pelosi. Hang Nancy Pelosi. Hang Mike Pence, the vice president, the Republican vice president. This, from an image standpoint, makes America look terrible, first of all. This is something that you would see in a third world country. This is something that you would see a coup. The difference is these rioters are not the military. But you could often see, go down to Venezuela, go down to like Burkina Faso, go down to Niger. These are images you would expect to see in a third world country. This is not something you would think you would see in the United States. Let me play a few more of these images. And I'm playing this video with the sound off for a reason. Matter of fact, just for effect, let me cut my background music off. Just so you can really appreciate what this looks like from an image standpoint. We don't want to see you talking, guy. Thousands of people. Let me go back. This is what we see. People fighting police. People burning fires in the Capitol. People bringing nooses. This is what we see. Let me show you some images. People climbing walls. Do you see this? Thousands of people. Thousands of people. We see men with Viking helmets on, shirtless, arguing with the police. And these are white men. So they like to demonize black folks. Oh, they don't know how to peacefully riot. They don't know how to peacefully protest. These are white men in the Capitol in Washington, D.C., actively trying to kill politicians, trying to murder Nancy Pelosi, trying to murder Mike Pence. These are the images going around the world. People with Confederate flags walking in the state capitol. People with Confederate flags. So when black people say, "Oh, we have a problem with white supremacy," and then you see someone waving the flag of a country that lost the Civil War. Think about the images when these politicians, when these ambassadors have to go back to foreign countries and say, hey, you got to keep your country. You need a constitution. You need to go with democracy. How do you think they look when they go to these other countries trying to wag their finger, telling them, Oh, they need to move with democracy instead of socialism. Go with the Western powers instead of the BRICS nations. And these other countries say, hey man, didn't y'all have people trying to overturn your elections just a few years ago? Didn't you have people with Confederate flags trying to kill the head of the Democratic Party, Nancy Pelosi, trying to kill the vice president of the Republican Party of the United States, the vice president of the United States, Mike Pence? We, as a country, thanks to January 6th, lost face. Regardless of good intentions, the results was a resounding failure. And for this, Donald Trump must pay. And we're going to get into this article. We got an article from the Time magazine today talking about how many people, what happened to the January 6th rioters arrested since the Capitol attack. This is what we're going to read. All right? This is what we're going to be reading today. What happened to the January 6th rioters arrested since the Capitol attack? Because consequences and repercussions, that is what these politicians are demanding. Can you imagine? Can you imagine you're Nancy Pelosi? Can you imagine you're Nancy Pelosi? This is unifying the Democrats and the Republicans against Trump. Because now you have the head of the Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House at the time, right? Nancy Pelosi, Democrats. Then you have the vice president coming from the Republican Party, Mike Pence. They are both two of the top targets in the January 6th attack. So when Mike Pence comes out and says, Trump, because mind you, and let me make sure, did I forget to, I meant to show that. Mike Pence comes out and says, Donald Trump wanted me to overturn the elections illegally. Mike Pence has no more loyalty to Donald Trump at this point. That man was scared for his life. This man was hiding under his desk, pissing his pants. This man was scared. So was Nancy Pelosi and every other politician who was in that building that day. And you think they forgot? They don't forget. Oh no. Oh no. These are the elites. These are the elites being threatened physically, scared for their lives. 80-something years old. They've never seen anything like this in their lifetime. Never saw anything like this in their lifetime. This is not something they're just going to let go. Oh, let's just move on. Let's just forget. Oh, no. Donald Trump's got to pay. Donald Trump has got to pay. So this election, this isn't it would be nice if Donald Trump was to win. No, Donald Trump is campaigning like his life depends on it. Because understand, him being found liable for fraud, that's just the first step. That's just the first step. They want him locked. They want him in prison, and they won't stop. Check this out. This is Donald Trump explaining how serious it is.
We have to make sure we win. We have to literally swamp them. We have to swamp them. We have to get so many votes out that they can't cheat, because they will cheat, and they will do things that Republicans don't do. And they are very, very bad people in so many different ways. This is what we must do in conclusion to restore our country to greatness. The USA is a mess. We have to make sure we win. We have to literally swamp them.
We have to make sure we win. We got to swamp them. We have to make sure we win. Now, he recorded that before he was found liable for fraud. He's still facing charges in Georgia. This man is scared. Just like Mike Pence and Nancy Pelosi and all the other politicians were scared on January 6th, I guarantee you Trump is worried right now. I guarantee you he's losing sleep right now. I guarantee you. Trump is thinking, if I don't win this election, that would mean Joe Biden, likely, if he survives, or another leader from the Democratic Party, because Ron DeSantis is not going to win. So if Donald Trump does not win, then the Democrats, likely Joe Biden or somebody else from the Democratic Party, is going to be the president. And that would give them another 4 years to do nothing but investigate. But investigate. And Donald Trump wants to win so he can pardon himself. If Donald Trump wins, he can pardon himself first and foremost for the many crimes that he's been already indicted on. He's been indicted on how many felonies at this point? Right? So he wants to pardon himself first and foremost, but then he can remove DAs. He can remove some of these appointed officials, some of these appointed agents. He can control the DOJ. So this is a very pivotal time for Donald Trump. With that being said, let's go ahead. Let's get into this article, because it's not just Trump. It's not just Trump. Everybody involved on that January 6th attack, oh, they're all facing backlash. And I want to make sure I shout out my subscribers. I appreciate y'all. Salute. I got a message from Brandon Sophia. It says, you trying to be front runner for Trump before 2024? No, you're a nice guy for him to throw you under the bus like Kanye West, who is going through great psychological issues. Brother, don't do it. That's all. Carry on. Peace. Hey, peace, Brandon Sophia. Peace. I appreciate you. Shout out Brandon Sophia. Long time supporter. Brandon Sophia been in here rocking with me for a long time now. So salute to Brandon Sophia. I appreciate everyone who's in here watching. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. With that being said, let's get into this article. And for the record, I am not a Donald Trump supporter. I think Donald Trump is better than Joe Biden, but I think most politicians are better than Joe Biden. I think Joe Biden is mentally ill. I think that his family should be ashamed for putting him through the stress of maintaining this presidency while the entire world can see him lose his mind to dementia. I think I would be, if this was my father. Everyone's talking about Hunter Biden. If this was my father, if I was a woman and this was my husband, whatever have you, I'll be like, even before he began running for president, I'd be like, listen, man, it's not going. No, just no. I can't support you in this. You're too old. You need to rest. You need to enjoy your time, because this man is seen mumbling, pooping his pants. He's like, oh, I pooped my pants. This man is seen falling every other week. This man is walking, just wandering off stage. He doesn't know where he is. The man is confused. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to the people of the United States, but it's embarrassing to him as a person. And I would hate to see my dad or somebody I care about embarrass themselves like that. I would feel bad for him. So no, I'm not a big Trump supporter. I just think Trump is better than Biden. So this is not an endorsement of Trump, but this is just me being real. Listen, Trump has to win right now. This is as far as Trump goes. I don't care if Trump wins or not, but I'm saying from Trump's perspective, not from my perspective, from Trump's perspective, he's got to win or this man's going to prison. All right, with that being said, let's get into this article. What happened to the January 6th rioters arrested since the Capitol attack? Now, this was done a few months ago, so take it with a grain of salt. Updated May 26, 2023. Okay, that's when this article was last updated. I'm going to put on the side, I'm going to play this without music just so you can see more images. As I'm reading this article, look at the video on the side and look at what people are thinking about when they consider the January 6th attack. Excuse me. More than 1,033 people have been arrested for storming the U.S. Capitol building on January 6, 2021, with charges ranging from obstruction of an official proceeding to assault. But 28 months later, after the attempted insurrection, a significant number of rioters are still awaiting their sentencing. All right. It's not like, oh, you go home and all right, it's all done. We're going to forget about it. Everyone's not going to. No, they are meticulously going through the video, going through the clips, and everyone who didn't have a mask covering their face, okay, we're going to do cross references. We got an image of this man's face. Let's search social media. Let's search Facebook. Let's search Instagram. Let's search Twitter for any image. Let's search our databases. Maybe some of these people have prior charges. Let's search every database for an image that matches this face. I guarantee you there is an entire team in the FBI who is dedicated to this one case. This is a massive case in the FBI, I guarantee it. They are meticulously going through every individual who stepped foot on the Capitol building on January 6, 2021. And they will not stop until every single one of them is held accountable, whether it be, as they said, an assault charge, a trespassing charge, an obstruction of justice charge, an obstruction of official proceedings charge. There will be an arrest record or a plea deal struck for every single person who they can identify from that day. They're not letting this go. And that goes for Donald Trump, especially Donald Trump. Especially Donald Trump. The article continues. Around 47% of those arrested, 485 individuals, have received criminal sentences already. Already, as of May of 2023, almost 50% of those arrested, 485 individuals from one day. From one day. Can you think of another day or another incident where 485 people have been arrested from one day? Can you just riddle me this? Think about another case. Think about another situation where 485 people have received criminal sentences from one day. Not even the whole day. One situation, one case, 1 hour. Think about the amount of manpower and time it took to track down 485 people. And these are just the people who have sentences. Not all the people arrested, not all the people charged, not all the people indicted. These are the people who've already received their sentences, which means the list will go on. Do you understand how big this case is? This is not a little thing. And they are taking it very seriously. It's not like, oh well, the cops let us in, so we shouldn't be held responsible, and they're just going to forget. They are not forgetting about it. No. Okay, I'm going to read that again just for emphasis, and I'll highlight it. Around 47% of those arrested, 485 individuals, have received criminal sentences, while the rest are waiting for their trials or haven't yet reached plea agreements. Almost 500 people have already been charged and received sentences, and the list will continue. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia, 277 defendants were sentenced to periods of incarceration with longer prison terms for those who engaged in violence or threats. So far, the median prison sentence for January 6 riots is 60 days. All right, so these are misdemeanors. These are misdemeanors, 60 days. But let me tell you, as somebody who's, I'm clean now, but I've had situations where I've been I've been in jail, full disclosure, right? And let me tell you, especially if you have a job, 60 days is significant. 60 days is significant. You might have a job where you have a public clearance trust, not anymore. You might be working in tech, law enforcement. You might be working in hospitals. If you have a clearance, if you had a clearance, oh, that's gone. If you're in the Army Reserves, Army National Guard, oh, you're out. If you were Think about all the jobs. Think about everything, any job, really, not even public clearance. Think about, oh, I was working down at KFC. You don't show up to work for 60 days, you're out. What job can you have where you miss 60 days and come back and still have that job? I'm asking you. If you think, oh, 60 days, they only got 60 days, they rushed the riot, they rushed the Capitol building, they only got 60 days. Okay. 60 days, you can survive 60 days in jail. That's not the problem. 60 days in prison, okay, yeah, you can handle that. That's, what, 2 months? All right, you can handle 2 months in prison. You'll be all right. But when you get out, what is waiting for you? What's waiting for you is you lost your job, you're behind on your rent, because most people in America are living paycheck to paycheck. So you miss 60 days, you're getting evicted. You probably haven't paid your mortgage or your rent for 2 months because you've been locked up without an income. Think about how this is going to change your life. I guarantee you, everybody who was there on January 6th regrets it. There's nobody who was there on January 6th and is going to say it with their chest. Yeah, I was there and I'm proud about it. I'm standing on it. No. No, they're not standing on that. They regret it. Oh, they're crying. Judge, I'm sorry. Judge, Your Honor, I'm sorry. Your Honor, please. I got a family, Your Honor. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me these people didn't get in front of the judge and try to backtrack. They're not standing on what they did for that day. They went up there with their flags, their Confederate flags, their Go Trump flags. They thought they were big, big bad men. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Listen, you got to be careful. You got to be careful because one day, one bad decision can change the whole outlook on your life. You spend 60 days in jail, you come back, you lost your house, you lost your apartment, you lost your job. Getting a new job is going to be a beast because now you got a conviction on your record, right? Your girl probably going to leave. Hey, you know what I mean? Some families broke up over this. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. You think you can go? You think you can lose your house, lose your job, get your car repossessed, come back and your girl gonna be waiting for you? Yeah, okay. I mean, hey, 485 people got locked up. You telling me all of those families are good? Oh no. There's a lot of men gonna go home and be single after that. Single, carless, jobless, and houseless. Oh man, they're regretting it. I guarantee you they're regretting it. You think 60 days is light? Yeah, okay. It's not as light as you might think. It's not as light as you might think. Shout out Brandon Sophia. Okay, Devil's Advocate lost with Trump in too. Yeah. Okay, Devil's Advocates lost with Trump in office too. Yeah. Shout out Brandon Sophia. All right, so for the median prison sentence for the January 6th rioters is 60 days, according to the Times calculation of the public records. An additional 113 rioters have been sentenced to periods of home detention, while most sentences have included fines, community service, and probation for low-level offenses like illegally parading or demonstrating in the Capitol, which is a misdemeanor. You better hope you got some home. You better hope you got home detention. You're on house arrest. You better hope for it. If you got a public defender, 60 days. 60 days. Look, you might want to spring that $2,500. You might want to spring that $2,500, that 5 racks for the paid attorney. Get yourself some home detention because, listen, it doesn't take long. It doesn't take long for a prison sentence to affect your life. I'm telling you what I know. Now, hundreds of additional cases are expected to be adjudicated in the coming months, with a number of sentencing hearings already on the calendar for this summer. The FBI, look, this is what I want to highlight. The FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, is still looking for more than 220 individuals believed to have committed violent acts on the Capitol grounds. You think they're going to let that go? You think the FBI is going to let that go? They've already arrested and sentenced about 500 people. Other people getting home detentions, misdemeanor charges. But you think they care about how small the consequences are, or how small and petty the the punishment is? Oh no. They don't care if you get house arrest. They don't care if you get 60 days. They don't care if you got 2 years. They want everyone tracked and labeled and held responsible regardless of the consequences, regardless of the money, regardless of how long it takes. Let me tell you this, the FBI has time. They've got endless time and endless resources. And when they put their mind to it, they got a 90% plus conviction rate. They're going to do what needs to be done to make sure that you, as an individual, each and single one of that 220 people that they're looking, you think they're going to get to 219 and be like, oh, that last one we just couldn't get it? Oh no. Oh no. Might take a year, might take 5 years, 10 years. They're not going to stop. And Trump is no different. Trump is no different. Here's a look at what happened to 20 of the most high-profile January 6th rioters. This man, Stuart Rhodes, 18 years in prison. 18 years. Talk about it was all good just a week ago. Yeah, now you're facing 18 years. Now you're facing 18 years. Here's the sentence, longest sentence given to anyone charged in January 6th. Far-right Oath Keepers founder Stuart Rhodes was sentenced on May 25th to 18 years in prison after being convicted of seditious conspiracy for his role in helping orchestrate the pro-Trump attack on the Capitol. It's a lot to read. I'm going to skip it. I'm just going to give a quick brief on all these folks. Peter Schwartz, 14 years and 2 months. The man who attacked police officers at the Capitol with pepper spray in a chair was sentenced to more than 14 years in prison, the second longest penalty handed down so far. The man attacked a cop. Thomas Webster, 10 years. A former New York City police officer and Marine Corps veteran was sentenced to 10 years in prison, plus 3 years of supervised release, which is parole. For swinging a metal flagpole at police before tackling another cop and yanking his gas mask off on January 6th. Now tell me this man should have known better. This man was a cop and a Marine Corps veteran. The only thing that is going to motivate a Marine Corps veteran and a cop to attack another cop, do you think he thought what he was doing was wrong? Do you think he was just out there for no reason? That man at the time, he thought he was doing the right thing. He thought he was doing the right thing. Crazy. That's crazy. I'm going to get through a few more of these, then I'll read your comments. I appreciate everyone rocking with me. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button. I appreciate everyone rocking with me. Albuquerque Cosper, 90 months. Was that like 8 years? 7 years? 7 years, I'm thinking. 90 months. The man who dragged Metropolitan Police Officer Michael Fanone into the mob of rioters was sentenced in October of 2022 to 7.5 years in prison, one of the harshest sentences yet for a member of the mob that stormed the Capitol. Listen, when you get locked up and you got to tell folks, hey man, what you in here for? He's got a story to tell, man. I was over there on January 6th. It was a cop trying to keep us out of there. I grabbed this cop and dragged him. Word? You in here for 7 years for dragging a cop? Oh man. Okay. All right, boss. All right, boss. Go clean underwear. Yeah, we're gonna put you on laundry duty. Do you understand what? You don't get me started. Don't get me started. These people had good jobs, cops, former military veterans. They were living comfortable lives. Now they're wearing dirty, stained underwears that some other dude has been jerking off in for the past 20 years. You got to wash them and wear somebody else's dirty underwear with crap stains going down them, and you got to wear that. You get your bundle of clothes. Now this is what you got to wear. Oh yeah, this is your prison uniform. This is what you got to wear. And you looking at them. You got to wear someone else's shit stained underwear. And you just came from a comfortable house, military veteran. You had a house, a dog, a beautiful wife, and a picket fence. And now you're sitting in here for 90 months, 10 years, 18 years. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Which one of these folks? Which one of these folks you think is proud of what they did? Which one of these folks you think don't regret what they did? Point them out. You think they're standing on it? You think they're standing on it? Guy Wesley Reffitt, 87 months in prison. Reffitt was the defendant to go on trial in the Justice Department's criminal inquiry into January 6th attack. The 49-year-old from Wiley, Texas, was armed with a handgun and zip ties as he attempted to storm the Capitol, while his car was allegedly loaded with rifles and ammo. My man came for war. And he was ready to go all out. Let me ask you this: Did he bust? Did he bust his gun? He got a car full of rifles and ammo. He got a pistol in his hand. He got zip ties. He's ready to kidnap Nancy Pelosi. He's ready to kidnap Mike Pence. Do you think this was a success? You think this was a success? Yo, Reffitt. Yo, Wes. How you doing, Wes? How them 87 months treating you? I guarantee you this man regrets it. I think you get the point. I think you get the point. Thomas Robertson, 87 months in prison. A former VA police officer and Army vet was sentenced to 7 years and 3 months in prison after he was found guilty by a jury of 6 crimes. Prosecutors say that this man, 49 years old, used a large wooden stick to block the path of officers who tried to stop the mob and destroyed his phone when he got home. So he tried to hide the evidence. He tried to hide the evidence. Like, oh shit, I was there. They're gonna track me. This man is a cop and an Army vet. This man knows, man. I was there. I gotta get my phone out. They're gonna track me. Dude, you took your phone home. They know who you are. You on video, dog. You on video, bro. You see how many cops and former military veterans were there, though? These people legitimately thought and believed that the elections were rigged. Whether the elections were rigged, I can't blame them for having that thought. I can't blame them. I can't say for sure, oh, the elections weren't rigged. And at the time, it's called the fog of war. It's 2020. There's so much fog around everything that's going on. So I can't blame them for their belief that it's possible that these elections were rigged. But the thing about it is, if these people are former vets and they believe in the Constitution, then surely they would have believed that there's some legal... Well, I can't demonize them that much because you would think that the same would go for Democratic primaries, that they don't have the right to rig it. And if it was shown that they rigged it, it wouldn't, they wouldn't have the right to do that. But lo and behold, the Democratic Party has already admitted to rigging primaries, and there have been no consequences for them. So, I can't blame these folks for doing what they believed was right. I can't blame them for doing what they thought was right. But what I can say is they're holding the bag now. They're holding the bag. And I wonder, I would want to see, what I would want to see is, I would want to see a statement from Trump. A statement of support. There's people who threw their lives away. There's people who threw their beautiful homes, their beautiful wives, their families. They lost their cars, they lost their wives, they lost their families. They lost everything defending what they thought was right in support of Donald Trump. And what does Donald Trump have to say? I've heard Donald Trump deny, hey, I didn't tell those people to go there on January 6th. I didn't tell those people to rush the Capitol. I tried to tell the National Guard to be there in advance so that there would have been more security there. I tried to prepare and stop it from happening. But I don't see Donald Trump defending them saying, hey, they thought that the election was stolen and I the one that told them the elections were stolen. I don't see any accountability or any responsibility coming from Donald Trump. I don't see him taking responsibility. These people lost everything. These people lost everything. They risked everything and they lost everything. People have lost their jobs, their families, their cars, their livelihoods. These people have taken significant risks and now they're facing significant punishments and consequences. And I don't see Donald Trump defending them. If he wins, who knows? Maybe he'll go back and pardon these folks. But right now, politically, of course, he can't. Politically, if he defends them, he just looks. It's a bad situation. January 6th was an L for everyone involved. And if I was there, or if I was related to somebody who was there, because mind you, I'm in DC. I'm in DC, so I think at the time I was out as OT, but Whew, that's a trip. All right, guys, I'm going to read a few of your comments. I see Brandon Sophia has been chiming in on the topic, so I appreciate you staying rocking with me, Brandon Sophia. So let me read some of your comments before I get out of here. All right, Brandon Sophia says, well, Donald Trump's right hand and left hand presidential cabinet members are out scot free and cry each night for feeling such an arrogant man. Yeah, seriously. Pence still trying to erase the memory of that. Yeah, yeah. Pence's career is done. If Pence thought he can, a lot of times people who go for vice president think that they'll be next in line because they have good experience. They'll be able to be a president later in life. If Pence thought he was going to be president one day, those dreams have evaporated. First of all, he's on record supporting Donald Trump. He was his vice president. And Republicans do not like Donald Trump. Can you just imagine? You've been a lifelong politician. You went to school to study political science. Then you went to law school to become a lawyer. Then you had an election. You joined Congress as a senator. You worked your way up. You were a senator or maybe a governor of a state. You worked your way up. You have dreams of one day becoming a president, working your way up. And this TV host just comes in 2016 and without any credentials, without studying public policy, without any experience, he's able to become the president and just jump the line of everyone who's dedicated their lives to this craft. You think they like this guy? they don't like him. They don't like him. They don't like him. This man just crapped on every politician's career path. Like, oh yeah, you studied for this? I could do this job. I could be your boss. And all I've been hosting TV shows. The Apprentice. I'm an actor. Yeah, they don't like him, dog. They do not like him. All right, more from Brandon Sophia. Yeah. Pence's career is done. First he supported Trump, then he turned his back on Trump. Pence is done. Time and it is affecting his bid to be president. Oh yeah. It's definitely affecting his bid to be president. Nobody won dealing with Trump. Yeah, everyone who's dealt with Trump so far is holding L's. Following. Oh, she meant following. So let me read that again with following. Well, Donald Trump's right hand and left hand presidential cabinet members are all scot free and cry each night for following such an arrogant man. Yeah, I know they regret that. I know they regret it. And here's the thing. Let me say this while it's on my mind too. 2024, next year, is going to be a very exciting election. But what people aren't realizing is win or lose, 2028 is right around the corner from that. Now, if Donald Trump should win, he's going to probably line Ron DeSantis to take the torch after Donald Trump is out. On the Democratic side, this is something I've been wondering myself. Who, if Joe Biden is to win, who are they going to have from the Democratic side lined up for 2028? Because if Joe Biden should win next year in 2024, if Joe Biden should win, the Democratic Party has been crapping on everybody who has any interest in primarying Joe Biden. They've been crapping on Marianne Williamson. They've been crapping on RFK. Cornel West has gone third party. They're ignoring him. I doubt Cornel West is going to then go back for the Democratic Party in 2028. So what standouts do they have? Maybe Governor Newsom. I'm thinking maybe Gavin Newsom from California. I mean, who do the Democrats really have to carry on the torch in 2028? I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, but this election is now 2028. It's not that far. It's not that far away. All right, back to Sophia. To me, all the January 6th rioters that were charged and convicted did not have their businesses confiscated or their union shop did not reject them, so they are sitting pretty still. Oh no, their business. First of all, everyone who was arrested doesn't have a personal business, but even if they did, you cannot just move away from your business for 2 months and think you can come back and be in the same position that you were. Listen, I mean, I'm trying to think of how I can phrase this, but just think about any business. Consistency is key. If you shut down for 2 months, people are going to start going to your competition. You can't just come back as if you're going to lose your clientele. What business can you have? Imagine you have a Walmart here and a Target here. You close your Walmart for 2 months. You haven't been paying. I don't know. No, I don't think you fully understand how significant a 2 month hiatus, being gone from your job. Think about whatever job you have. Whatever job, I don't know what you do, Sophia, but whatever job you have, can you leave your job for 2 months and come back like nothing happened? Hey, boss, sorry I'm late. You haven't been here for 2 months. We gave your job away. You cannot just leave your job for 2 months and think you're going to be able to come back and we've just been sitting still waiting for you. No. These people had regular jobs. Plumbers, garbage men, mail carriers, police officers. You cannot be a police officer when you just got locked up for 2 months. You have a criminal record. You can't then just come back to the police department and be like, hey, sorry I'm late. Dude, weren't you just locked up for rioting, for insurrection in the Capitol? Get out of here. You're a criminal. These people have lost their jobs. I don't think you fully understand how 2 months of prison will totally destroy everything you built. That's not light work. It's hard to rebuild, especially if you're young, like a teenager or something, early 20s. You still got some time to rebuild. But if you're in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, you have an established career, and then you go to prison for 2 months, you can't just come back with a criminal record as if nothing happened. That's a significant blow to your career. I'm telling you what I know. Just trust me. Trust me. Think about it in your personal life. If you could just lose your job for 2 months, go to prison for 2 months, come back, and your job's going to wait for you. I guarantee you it won't. So I don't think they're sitting pretty. All right, back to Sophia. They wanted to pick a fight with the federal government and lost. Yeah, they did. Just like those of the Confederacy and the Civil War. But at least the losers lost property. I'm telling you, they lost property. They lost property and they were fined. But if you go to jail for 2 months, you're going to lose. You're going to lose some property. Don't believe me? Fine, but I'm not going to argue with you. But I would advise you to just think about what would happen if you lost. If you went to prison for 2 months, what would happen to your job? What would happen to your bills? Are you renting or are you a homeowner? If you don't pay your rent for 2 months, what's going to happen to your stuff? I mean, just think about it. If it was to happen to you, whatever job you have, wherever you live, if you don't pay your rent for 2 months and you don't have a job for 2 months, and then you come back with the prison record, do you think you can get a job tomorrow? Do you think your apartment's still going to be waiting for you? You're going to have some consequences flowing from that. These guys, yeah, they definitely lost. They definitely lost picking that fight with the federal government. They definitely lost. The losers, they sorry, let me read some more of this. uh, they losers. They is in the Confederate soldiers. Yep, yep. Look up the female real estate agent lady from Texas if she lost her business and report back to this video. Okay, I don't know. No, I cannot. But Trump January 6th rioters are hunters of big game, and Job knows they can leave for that length of time. Okay, Sophia, I usually don't argue, but you're a longtime supporter, so I'm going to ask you this. It's a direct question. I've asked it before. Put in the chat. I see you're typing. You're here with me. We're talking. Put it in the chat. Tell me what job you can have. Give me an example. Tell me one job you can have, leave for 2 months, come back with a criminal record, and that job's waiting for you. Give me. I would say give me 3 examples. Give me one. Give me one. If you don't pay your apartment, if you don't pay your rent for 2 months, most people live paycheck to paycheck. The most Americans cannot afford a $500 emergency. Most Americans, like statistically, most Americans cannot afford a $500 emergency. So just think, what job can you lose? What job can you have where you can go to prison for 2 months, come back, have that same job, and still have your apartment after not paying rent for 2 months? Where? Give me an example. Throw it in the chat. No, you cannot. You cannot show up. Union jobs will not wait for you to get out of prison. That's not how it works. You not showing up will cost you your union membership. You out of the union. You get kicked out of the union. They uphold their Second Amendment, and many, including their communities, offer them still support. Second Amendment is fine, but prison is a bar. Prison is a bar. Prison unions do not protect you from prison. Check this out, Sophia. For instance, unions may have rules that prevent employers from taking action until the employee's criminal case is resolved. So it's resolved now. Additionally, if you're a contract-based employee with a predetermined period of employment, your contract may prevent your employer from firing you before the end of your fixed term. I think that would be a breach of contract. I think that would be a breach of contract. If you don't show up for 2 months, that would be a breach of contract. But all right, we'll agree to disagree on that. Listen, I think that's it, though. I think that's it for today. If you got anything else, let me know. But all in all, first of all, let's not pretend that 500 people were all in unions. You think all 500 of those people were in had union jobs? You think all of those people, 500 people, had union jobs? I doubt it. But all right, I got to get going. It's 9:30. I got some other things to do. I appreciate everyone rocking with me so far tonight. I think it was a good conversation. I appreciate you all. If you're new to the channel, be sure to smash the subscribe button. And if you've been here before, support the channel by hitting the thumbs up button. It motivates me to keep this thing going. Salute to all the new subscribers and all the longtime supporters. Shout out Brandon Sophia. You was really active tonight. I appreciate you. Peace.